Say it again.
This is Dr. Claude Anderson right here. This man has spent decades trying to help blacks climb out of the pit. He focuses heavily on economics, which is what we've been covering in the book Desegregating the Dollar by Dr. Weems. And we've been talking about the effects of integration and how around the time of civil rights in the 1960s, many blacks removed their support of black businesses to go to white corporations. And Dr. Claude Anderson was alive to see it in person. So let's hear about it.
When Dr. King was pivoting from civil rights and, civil liberties to go get that money, that's when they killed him. He was organizing the Poor People's Campaign.
That's right.
Yeah.
They killed him then because you know why? Because Martin Luther King, right before he got assassinated, 3 months before that, you know what he said to the country? He said, I got to admit, he said, I think I made a big mistake.
What mistake?
Yeah.
He said, I think I've led black folk into a burning building.
Burning building, yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Social integration is a divisive issue. It divides you. It doesn't pull you together. It's a weakening process. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Mm-hmm. It weakens you. If I put a cup of coffee right now in front of you and pour cream in it, do I make it stronger?
Hell no, you make it weaker.
That's right. So black folk went for social integration.
He's saying they fell into a trap. Pay attention.
I've always asked, has integration helped to harm the black community? I think it harmed.
Knocked the black folks' brains out. Black folk had up 100 times more before social integration hit. See, I'm old enough to tell you all that. You're all not old enough to know that yet. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, see, we had something. We didn't have the resources we needed as much as we needed, but we had something. We had one of the things that's key to get to your question about where do we start. We had communities. We had communities all over America.
And remember the condition. It was forced segregation. So communities had to be built under that pressure. But either way, they still had them.
In every city had a major community. Here, Harlem, places like that. We had our communities. We didn't have everything we wanted, but it was ours.
Yeah, we only hear about Black Wall Street. Sometimes you hear about Bronzeville in Chicago. Right. I can't remember the town in North Carolina, but we don't hear about that. They were literally those communities all over the country.
That's right. Well, Sweet Auburn and Atlanta, Georgia, that's had all the big hotels, fine restaurants, and everything. In North Carolina, what you're talking about now, see, I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Let me use that as an example. Mm-hmm. I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and we were looking for this social integration. You know why? Because we had our own businesses there. We had our own businesses. My family was part of one that had the only black bus line in the entire United States.
Come on with it.
The only black bus line. And when I say we had a bus line, I'm not talking about 2 or 3 buses. We had over 500 buses.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And guess what? We had that from 1927 up to about 1967.
Why did that change in the 60s? He's going to tell us.
In Winston-Salem, we also had our own cab companies. We had our own restaurants. We had our own hotels. We had our own school systems. And the bus lines, an example, we know what killed our buses?
What?
Social integration.
That's what happened in the 60s. Social integration.
When all of a sudden, you all started talking about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King going down to Alabama, want to integrate the bus lines. Integrate whose bus lines?
Tell us.
White bus lines. What they want? They didn't want to own and control and get the resource.
What they want?
They just want to sit on the front of it.
Oh, snaps. Dr. Anderson says that they didn't want to own and control the resources, talking about the bus. They just wanted to sit in front of it. This stuff is wild, isn't it? Let's get some more.
Yeah.
Now, you tell me, what does that indicate? Now, if you want to get on a bus, what you want to do is just want to sit on the front of it. Mm. Now, if the bus is moving, then the back of the bus will be where the front of the bus will move in a fraction of a second. And everybody gets off at the same time. And so in Winston-Salem, we had our own buses. And so when that movement was successful in Alabama, came up to Winston-Salem, and blacks in Winston-Salem says, we want to ride on front of some white buses. So we said, we don't have any white buses. They said, well, we'll get some so we can ride on the front of them.
This stuff is wild. Get some so we can ride on the front of it is vicious. They didn't want the black buses anymore. They wanted the white one.
I feel like a complete asshole because I never thought about that. Like that whole time they did the boycott, they should have been trying to establish their own bus company as opposed to wanting to ride. I never thought about that. Y'all boycotted for a year just to want to ride on the front?
You can see it hit him right here. He's finally coming to terms with what that actually meant beyond the surface level popular narrative. And there are a lot more things that people are eventually going to come to realization about. Identity, culture, and race just being a few. Now let's keep going.
See, you're a smart man.
I never thought about that.
But you got it now, right?
Yeah.
You said, no, what difference does it make with them sitting on the front or the back? See, in our Safe Bus Company, SAF, you can go to your computer and find out about the Safe Bus Company in Winston-Salem. See, we own the buses.
Mm-hmm.
We own the resources. All of our mechanics were blacks. All of our drivers were blacks. Electricians were black. Everything was black. And so they said, well, we just want to ride on the front of their buses. We had 2 cab companies in Winston-Salem.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? As a resource, whites had 3 cab companies. No, they had 2 cab companies. They had the Bluebird and the Yellow Cab. We had the Harris and the Campbell City cabs. But guess what? When that integration movement started, what they wanted to do? Blacks didn't want to ride black cabs anymore.
Tell us what they wanted to do.
They wanted to ride in white cabs.
Go back to the last commentary we did. This is what was mentioned in the Negro Handbook from the 60s. It said as society became less segregated, blacks had turned with increasing alacrity towards white establishments, meaning with quickness, eagerness, and willingness, they left black businesses to go to the whites. That's what Dr. Anderson is talking about right here. Let's get some more.
In Winston-Salem, we had our own movie theaters. We had the Lincoln and Lafayette. There was a Lincoln and Lafayette theater in every major city and every black community in America.
Mm-hmm.
And whites had 3 movie theaters. They had the Farsight, Carolina, and State Theater. We didn't care, but we had our own movie theaters.
When he says we didn't care, he must be talking about a smaller group of blacks who were similar to him. Not most blacks, because he says this.
And so guess what? Blacks didn't want to go to the black theaters and want to go to the white theaters.
We swear white ice is colder.
Sure did.
Now listen to this.
And you might not believe this, but I saw that happen once, though. I'm going to jump off what I was talking about over a second. I was in Tallahassee, Florida, giving a speech down there, and I'm standing on the street corner talking to the black real estate developer there. I'm talking to him, and I noticed across the street there was a black guy on a grocery store over there. And the guy pulled up while we were talking. We just watching like we're talking now. He pulled up, went over to the parked by that grocery store, went over to the ice machine, opened up the ice container, pulled out a bag of ice, looked at the ice and rolled it around, looked at it, then put it back into the machine. And then he turned right around his car, backed it up, and came right across the street where we were to a thing called Jack's Liquor, and went and got out of his car and went into the ice machine. Same company, same ice, owned by the same company. The ice machines owned by the same company. He went in there, looked at it, and rolled it around, took it, went in and bought it. And I said, I had never seen that before. I said, now when he comes out, I'm going to ask him. I said, come here, sir, let me ask you a question. I said, why is that you would not buy the ice from the ice machine over there with the black grocery store, but you came over here to Jack's Liquor and bought the ice? I said, why'd you buy it over here? He said, oh, I didn't want to buy Mr. Williams' ice over there. He said, I don't like his ice. It's too lumpy. White ice is smoother.
This stuff is unbelievable, isn't it?
So I said, damn.
Lord have mercy.
I said, I knew white ice was going to be colder, but now I found it's smoother.
Lord have mercy.
Pay attention.
And see, and so the conclusion of this is that I got to get your point. I got to go back to this.
That's all right.
I keep leaving it. First, you build these communities.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we do not have not one single black community in America. Mm-hmm. Not one. It's impossible for you to play as a community. Means you got a team. People got mutual understandings, interests, and direction and plans. You have not one black community in America.
Then what do they have?
All you got are black neighborhoods.
What do you mean?
A neighborhood is where you eat and sleep. A hotel is a neighborhood. A neighborhood is like having a bucket with holes in it. You pour in water in it runs out. It has no effect. And in some of these neighborhoods, it's gotten so bad now, they're not even neighborhoods anymore. The crime has gotten so high, they ran a neighbor out. All you got left is a hood.
That's right.
That's why they call it the hood. Nothing left in there. They don't have any communities. They have a community, you must have 3 elements to make a community, qualify as a community. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can produce jobs, services, goods, products, and resources for your own people.
That's number 1. You need jobs, products, services, and resources that can support your own people. What's number 2?
Two, the second thing you must have in there, you must have a code of conduct saying this is how we're going to behave. Here's how we're going to love and support each other. Here's how I'm going to get along. Here's why when I go to the Breakfast Club, I'm going to love and respect those blacks on there, appreciate them, care about them, protect them.
So people need to be on the same page. They need to be similar in thinking and have a set of rules that they agree on and follow that will lead them to a certain desired outcome. Now, what's number 3?
And lastly, you must have politicians elected to office who will represent you first and foremost. You don't put black folk in public office that will look out for everybody else before they look out for you. If you don't have those 3 things, you don't have a community. Or you got neighborhoods. And that's what we got in this country, with no neighborhoods.
And when you study Black history, the decline becomes very apparent. It went from communities to neighborhoods, and then those neighborhoods are currently being swallowed. And all that's going to be left afterwards are individuals who call themselves Black. So it's a sinking ship. And when you examine it realistically, you see that it's not going to reverse because there are too many pressure points on too many sides that make it nearly impossible to do so.
In this country right now, Hispanics, let's take Hispanics. Hispanics bounce their money on an average of 6 to 7 times in Mexican time, Little Havana, Little Cuba. White folk typically bounce their money 8 to 12 times. Arabs bounce, and Arabs and Asians bounce their money about 13 or 14 times. Jews bounce their money about 18 times.
They're one of the most skilled people in creating these self-supporting communities. They understand the concept of keeping the money and the resources in the community to an extremely high degree, right? They're top players in the game. So he says Hispanics 6 to 7 times, whites 8 to 12 times, Arabs and Asians 13 to 14 times, and Jews 18 times. Now, what about blacks?
Black money doesn't bounce once.
He says it doesn't even bounce once. It's like a Spalding basketball with no air in it. The thing won't even bounce.
As soon as a black person gets paid, he runs straight to somebody else's business and gives them their money. That means they go bankrupt every night. Every black neighborhood goes bankrupt every night at 7 o'clock. Stays bankrupt until the next morning. They don't own any damn businesses. When the white man or somebody else closes their doors, they go bankrupt. So, well, we overcome and we're progressing. Wait, where's the progress? Oh, someplace. Well, oh, we got social progress.
And there we go. That's Dr. Claude Anderson. And we can see a piece on how social integration created an opportunity that blacks acted upon. And he experienced it with his own eyes. So from here, we will return to the book, Desegregating the Dollar, in the next commentary. I thank you for your time and attention. My name is Brooklyn St. Michael, and I'll see you in the free world.